And you know this is the only chance that I've got. If I miss it now, it's gone. That was the first time that I saw a leopard killed. As a filmmaker life, you remember that couple of seconds when it happened for the rest of your life. That is a highlight in any filmmaker's life.
The night before, I'd been watching a pride of lions hunting a big herd of buffalo. They were just trailing them. They hadn't really gone for one of the buffalo at that time. The next morning we went out to where the buffalo had been left. There was just lions running all over the place, and I immediately assumed it was the lions we had been following the night before. And then instead of catching a buffalo, two of the lions ran through and caught another lion. And they just got into this huge fight. And the one that they attacked, he was a young male from a four-ways pride, and they just mauled him. As they were busy with that, the herd of buffalo, there must have been about 100, came, chased the two bigger ones off, and then the younger lion, as he was kind of getting himself back together, one of the buffalo cows came and hit him down again.
When a new coalition of male lions moves into a territory that's already occupied, one of their primary goals is to kill off the dominant male. And other things such as killing off the young cubs less than a year old. Typically when male lions try to kill other male lions to take over a coalition, they try and go in for spinal bites, which in this guy you can see he's got damage over his lower back and he's battling to use his back legs.
The two big males, the ones doing the attacking, the Clarendon males, just started to come into Mala Mala from the north, from the Sabi Sands, and the four-ways pride that were being attacked, they had come into Mala Mala from the Kruger National Park. So it was both sort of new lions for Mala Mala.
You've got to carry over your genetics when you're a lion. If you kill off your competition, you know your genetics are going to be carried on.
It's quite possible if the buffalo hadn't come in at that point that the two big males, the Clarendon males, would have killed him on the spot. Like they wouldn't have stopped until he was dead.
Yeah.
See the buffalo come in, you give him a horn, and they move off. It might be an injured lion, but an injured lion can still injure a buffalo. A hook from a buffalo could badly injure, if not kill this lion. And it looks like the horn is going for the head. And the head and the neck is where a buffalo horn can be instantly fatal.
He limped off and hid in a thicket. From there, he walked to a waterhole that was maybe 2 or 3 kilometers away, but it took him days just to get there. And then he only died about a week later.
There's various ways that this male can die afterwards. If something like a hyena came along or another predator, he's probably going to get killed and eaten, or just killed. If nothing comes along, he's going to have to die from his injuries. That's going to be through dehydration and infection, which will be a much slower process than getting killed off and eaten.
For me, the best part was just seeing all that interaction. Most of the time when we watch lions, they're fast asleep, not doing anything. But for that period of time when they are active and they're actually doing something, it's probably the most spectacular animal you can watch here. That's the first time I've seen an out-and-out battle like that. And then to have the buffalo coming in as well as just a cherry on top was pretty overwhelming.
We came across a leopard. She was kind of perched on top of an old aardvark hole. The guide said that she might be waiting for something and knew that there might be something in the hole. When we first saw the leopard, I was extremely excited. After about an hour and a half, we saw a warthog kind of poke her head out of the hole, and she didn't see the leopard because the leopard was up above her. And a short time after that, the baby warthog came out of the hole, and the leopard jumped right on top of the baby and chased it around and climbed on top of it.
Leopards love hunting warthogs, and one of the ways that they do this is to find a warthog hole that's obviously active, and then to take their time, basically patiently lying, waiting for the warthog to come out. A warthog obviously can't stay in the hole for days on end, so it's going to come out at some stage. I don't think these warthogs were aware of the fact that the leopard was there, so they were probably just on their way out to forage.
There was so much screaming, and we were all so shocked. We were very, very close, and it was the middle of the day, so we could see everything. And when we looked over to the side, you could see the mother warthog watching the whole thing, which was gut-wrenching.
So the mother circled all the way around.
It looks like a young female warthog that's caught by the leopard and a bigger female that hangs around. And of course, she wants to defend her youngster, but she realizes that the leopard has a very good grip on it, and there's probably no chance for her to actually save the young one. In the classic fashion, whereby it holds onto the warthog and it then drags kind of below its feet. The reason for this is the leopard wants to be able to move quickly up a tree if necessary.
We followed the trail from where we thought that the leopard might have taken her kill, and it turned out that she had dragged it up into a tree and had it there to feed her cub with. So it all came full circle, and it was a really incredible experience.
As a guide, when you sit there and you look at 300 buffalo, a wounded lioness, a young lioness and a small cub, you don't necessarily think there's going to be any interaction. The buffalo herd started to split, and two buffalo cows and a young sort of sub-adult buffalo had separated themselves a bit and were actually walking towards the line. The one line broke cover. She managed to get onto the back of the sub-adult buffalo. The buffalo ran with her on its back through one of these muddy wallows, around in a big circle and back towards the car. The lioness with the injury ran into the fray and managed to get onto the throat of this buffalo as it moved right past our vehicle. The buffalo that had two lions in its throat bleated, a distress call, promptly at which the 300 buffalo looked up and saw one of the herd under attack and them charging. It's one of those bizarre moments when you're so focused on watching something that you lose your... The buffalo got there quite quickly. The lionesses jumped back and ran off, and the buffalo chased them off into the thicket.
This was a really nice example of the dynamics between predator and prey, because in this instance, it is the prey that wins out and the predator doesn't have its own way. Showing how a bulky, large, strong animal like buffalo is able often to stand up and to protect its own species against the attentions and the wills of the mighty lion.
People come from a long way away to see Africa at its rawest, and here was a battle between the two old adversaries of the savannah, lion and buffalo. Then, of course, there's a buffalo that had two lions that had been grabbing it by the throat and had jumped onto its back. And the buffalo seemed to show a lot of interest in this buffalo that now smelled like lion. And very quickly, we had 100 buffalo chasing one poor buffalo that had already had someone jump on its back, and they thundered off into the distance. We spend a lot of time second-guessing or predicting what may happen. It's part of the narrative that we get.